Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your SmackDown review. And we're back again with the indie guys. You know, I don't get this. So everyone who was on Raw, all four of them, they're all back on SmackDown now. So I thought that there was a brand extension going on, wasn't there? Isn't that still in effect? I'm pretty sure that it is. You know, it's just that the pay-per-views are combined, but these guys were debuting on Raw, apparently. Isn't that what Triple H said? Well, I guess that we need to make way because the indie gods are breaking all the rules. You know, they're going to be on both shows. And I don't understand. It's like if they're testing the waters, like remember they used to at least test the waters on house shows? That's how they used to do it back in the day. Now they just test things on live TV. Like, it's completely fucking nuts. So let's get into this show. Let's talk about what happened. You know, not a lot happened, of course, but, you know, we got to talk about these, you know, this fearsome foursome that has appeared. Now, they're not together, all of them anyway, but, you know, it's like they're booking these guys all with a purpose here. And we all know that it's all about AEW and everything, and, you know, they're so scared of this, and, you know, people are, like, telling me all the time, I'm seeing, like, comments, like, AEW, Brad, you know, they're gonna have the production values of a WWE. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're, you know something, listen, as much as I say about WWE, I said Kevin Dunn is a genius when it comes to production. If there's one thing that I cannot knock WWE for, is I'm not really a big fan of like the current style with the LED boards. It's a very corporate, very sterile look. They used to, you know, have it feel a bit more like grungy back in the day, which was a real cooler feel. They even made it more sleek down the line, like during the Ruthless Aggression era, without it, you know, like for example, the SmackDown Fist, they spruced things up. You know, even during the Attitude Era, things weren't like that spruced up. You know, they had those reflective mirrors, like, you know, that was supposed to represent glass, you know, on the SmackDown stage. So there was big time production value. So, you know, I'm sorry, but the same thing is they had so much money for Impact. You know, they had a tighter budget. But the thing is, they never got anywhere close to that level of production value. So, sorry, ain't gonna happen. You know, but like, okay, we're scared of AEW. So we saw on Raw, you know, like, they're just, like, tripping over themselves, right? Wasn't the idea to, like, push the revival, because that was one of the things that the fans wanted to see. Remember what Seth Rollins said? Remember Seth Rollins? You know, he said that, you know, if the Revival win the tag belts, that's going to be one of the things to make Raw better. Or, you know, if they got tag title shots, at least. That's what he had said. Just shots, not winning it. But they actually won it. And then, so their first, like, title defense, they lose. Well, no, their first match as champions, they lose. The belts weren't on the line. But, you know, we've got new guys. And there's, like, they just brought a bunch of new guys in. Like, I don't know. I heard there was controversy about Lars Sullivan. Where is he? EC3 wasn't even on Raw. It's like they just introduced a bunch of new people. And, you know, Lacey Evans is just walking up and down the entrance ramp. There's just, like, no direction for anybody. They've got all these people. You know, they've got Heavy Machinery that's doing bushwhacker dances and shit. I don't even know. And now they bring in 4 new people. You know, like, is there any direction or any purpose for anybody to be here? I mean, it's total ADD nonsense. It's like when they get started on one thing, they start doing something completely different. And you know, are they really going to, like, ask the question why people are not going to get over? And this is what they're going to do. They're going to get mad when they don't get over. And then they're going to blame that wrestler. But the thing is, you're putting them in that position. Obviously, none of these people are going to get over. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be hurting a lot of people's feelings in this video. So if you're ultra sensitive, you might as well hit the thumbs down and click out of the video, because I'm not going to be very nice in this review. I'm sorry, but, you know, well, I mean, when am I ever really concerned about people's feelings? Mostly never. So, you know, this is what we're going to do here in this review. I'm just gonna, you know, basically tell you exactly how I feel. When don't I? But, you know, I'm gonna really just kind of stick the knife in here. I'm sorry to all the AEW and indie fans, you know, who are all excited for this. But let's start off with some non-indie guys. The Miz and Shane McMahon are in the ring. You know, and Miz is all depressed. You know, what is this? It's gonna be a whole elaborate scheme. They're gonna have Miz's dad at the pay-per-view. The Usos come out. There's gonna be a rematch. And now all of a sudden there's like no rematch clause. When did that get in effect? After years and years. I'm all for this. So we don't have to see tons and tons of rematches. You know, like God forbid if we had it to see, you know, like, what was something that they had like 1,000 rematches of. You know, remember when they kept on showing us, I don't know, like, think of something. I can't think of anything offhand. Okay, like the Usos and New Day. There you go. There's an example. Couldn't think of something. But, you know, everything's so forgettable, I can't even think of something. But the thing is, there is an example of them just constantly do something because rematch clause, rematch clause. Now all of a sudden there's no rematch clause. But they do the rematch anyway. Whatever. Okay, so this is just one rematch. We've only seen the match once. But whatever the case may be, we're going to see it again. And The Miz is going to have his dad ringside for this one. You know, Shane is, you know, defending Miz when one of the Usos says, oh, you know, The Miz is the weak link and all that. And, you know, okay, again with the weak link stuff, right? You know, we've got, Leo Rush being considered the weak link of the Bobby Lashley team. You know, like enough. It's like always like recycle, rinse, and repeat the same shit from show to show. It doesn't matter if it's a completely different character. It's gonna, you know, they're just going to copy and paste. They love copy and paste in this company nowadays. It's very super easy. If, you know, even if something doesn't work for somebody, copy and paste it right onto another person. Even though that person looks completely different, acts different, or is supposed to anyway. But whatever the case may be, Shane's like, don't talk that way about The Miz. So now he's like super emotional over The Miz. And I mean, okay, this is how I think the storyline's going to go. I don't really do prediction videos anymore, but this, I'll take a crack at it. This is going to be the pay-per-view where The Miz is going to turn on Shane. Is his dad going to beat up Shane too? Maybe he's going to come in with a chair. That would be pretty fucking funny. You know, I'll give them points for originality if they actually have the dad fucking whack Shane with something. And he'd be like, I wasn't a fan of Shane. I hated him all along. Well, whatever the case may be. The Miz should really be in the world title picture. But I've got a feeling this is all going to come back to Shane stealing the spotlight from him in, you know, in Saudi Arabia. You know, and no one, like, even remembers that shit in Saudi Arabia. They're not even showing the trophy anymore. But that's probably the story they're going to tell. I mean, God, this story took how many fucking months to tell, but they're going to do it, probably. That's... Watch that happen. I'm saying it right now. Remember this video when it happens at Fastlane. Okay, so we've got that match. Up next, it's... Oh, look, they found Andrade. So, you know... I said Rey Mysterio, Andrade, you know, let's not put any of these guys in the Elimination Chamber. Let's just randomly put Kofi Kingston in there to, you know, stand in for Mustafa Ali. Okay? So now that they have, you know, Kofi now in the fucking driver's seat or whatever, you know, they're completely forgetting about Andrade. Rey Mysterio, once again, was not on the show. I don't know. Forgive me if, you know, Ray's injured or whatever, or I don't know if he's doing an appearance, but that's always the case nowadays. Everyone's either, you know, doing a movie, they're injured, or, you know, doing something else. I can't keep track of it anymore. I barely read the dirt sheets. You know, I could barely make it through this fucking show. That's all I could pretty much stand when it comes to modern day wrestling. So, you know, let me know, you know, if Ray's injured. I'd be interested to know. Maybe I'll look it up myself. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But anyway, Andrade is now facing Aleister Black. So remember Andrade? Remember they're going to build this guy up. Big win over Rey Mysterio. They also wouldn't. They had a non-finish in 2 out of 3 falls, which was bullshit. But they booked it so they didn't have to have Andrade lose anything. So it looked like maybe they were gonna invest in somebody. Oh, look at that! Aleister Black just beats him just like that. So and Byron Sex Addict says, "Oh, we learned all about Aleister Black on Raw." No, we didn't. We didn't learn anything about Aleister Black. All he said is, "Hey, to Elias, you're gonna fade to black." So now we have Aleister Black beating 2 guys that have more charisma than him. 2 guys who look, something about Aleister Black. I'm like, it's the tattoos really that make him stand out, because there's not a lot of guys that have a bunch of tattoos anymore, because now CM Punk is not there and a few others. So, but besides that, I'm looking at Aleister Black, and it's not like he has a great build or anything. I mean, I think out of all the guys, out of Ricochet, Gargano, and, Palmer Cannon over there, I would say that this is probably the best looking dude out of all of them. But that said, I'm all for Andrade. I've been putting this guy over in these reviews. You guys know that I'm a massive Elias fan. I don't want to see these guys getting jobbed out to this new guy. We haven't learned anything about him. They're trying to make him the next Gothic character, and I'm sorry, like I said in my Raw review, he's not Gangrel, he's not Judas Messias, he's not Abyss, he's not the more Gothic Mankind, he's not the fucking Undertaker. I'm sorry, this is, I'm sorry, he comes out, and they kind of make him go up on the slab and everything like he's a vampire. But I even said, even Kevin Thorne, Mordecai, Kevin Furtig did it better. Why not just bring those guys back? Why don't you give a guy like Kevin Furtig another chance? Look at the size of that guy. And even when he was in ECW, he was proving himself. And, they kind of just cut his, I'm ranting about a guy from over fucking 12 years ago, for God's sakes. Well, regardless of that, I'm just saying there's a whole host of guys who have done it better. Done the Gothic gimmick. Even Midian did it better than him with the eye in the jar. So he's just overrated. I've said, on the Raw Rumble that I like the guy's look. I said a little bit on Raw. Maybe the guy will grow on me with time, but I just don't like how they're just immediately shoving him down our throat. And because I know that they're going to get bored of him. How the hell did they get bored of EC3? I mean, how, like, that's still bothering me. How are you focusing on Aleister Black? And you seem like you're putting more momentum behind a guy like this, when EC3 could honestly be like such a, more of a massive star than this guy ever could be. And I'm saying Andrade, there's a lot of potential here. I mean, he's impressive. I mean, we haven't even, like, this is one of the guys where, they haven't given him a chance to show any type of charisma or anything like that. But the guy has a good look. I look at him and I'm like, I know that he could be more. I look at Aleister Black and I'm just like, I'm just not really seeing it. I mean, he does have sort of a look, but I'm just, you want to talk about an aura, which Byron Sex Addict mentioned. He doesn't really have it that much, so much for me. He doesn't seem special. It's just my opinion. And I'm saying, like, what happened to the feud between Andrade and Rey Mysterio? Are they just going to go back to it, magically in a few weeks? But, just have him lose here for no reason. I mean, it doesn't really do anything for Aleister. It doesn't do anything for Andrade. What's the point? There was no story here. It was just a match. Oh, okay, Aleister comes in and, they make him look strong at the expense of Andrade? Thought they were building this guy up, but apparently not. And then backstage, we've got Johnny Gargano and Tabasco Chomper. They're, both backstage, and what's that? I'm sorry. Okay. I see, you know, you're fuming there in your AEW shirt, you know, in your NXT shirt here. So I'll try a little bit harder to pronounce the name. It's Tabasco Chachka. Oh yes, that's it. Okay, so yeah, so they're cutting a promo here. You know, everyone talks about what a great heel character he is, and he's cutting a promo saying, no, in the spotlight, this is where he does his best work, and just generic stuff, okay, you know. And then Gargano, just like, you know, I'm sorry, but this guy just comes across as a total dweeb. We had a fight in this building, and now it's all come full circle. You know, whatever it was that he said, and then the bar shows up. The bar is like towering over these two guys, and then they say, "We're not here, you know, to beat the bar. We're here to break the bar. You know, not here to raise the bar. We're here to break the bar." Then they have the bar just laugh at them and makes them look stupid, and then they're just like, "Duh," just like looking at the bar, like, because when you look at these two guys, it looks like the bar would beat their fucking asses in no time. I mean, you're talking about two guys, both of them 6'6", 6'7", and you're looking at these two schmucks. I'm sorry, I said his name wrong again. Okay, it's definitely Tabasco Crotch Grab. That's it. Yes, I got it. Thank God I finally got it, right? Okay. So, you know, they're like looking at each other, and I mean, you know, nice job, guys, you know, making them look good there in that little promo. Then backstage, we have AJ Styles is hanging out with Jeff Hardy. And then Kofi Kingston comes in and he offers them a branch of pancakes. It's supposed to be like the olive branch, but there's pancakes on it. This wasn't funny. It was just really, like, weird. Like, I'm looking at it just like, huh? Like, am I supposed to laugh at that? This just looks like, this is like the world champion. You know, everyone was saying, let's make Kofi the champion. Let's not. I mean, honestly, like, guys, you look at Kofi and you really see, like, a world champion there, because I'm sorry, I don't. I'm not seeing that from this guy. It's not what I visibly see when I look at Kofi. I see mid-carder. I see a talented guy, but I just don't see him being a world champion. Some guys just don't look like it's like what I said about Cody Rhodes. I don't see him as a world champion. It's the same thing with Kofi Kingston. Those are, you know, two talented guys we're talking about. But when I look at him, it's just like, no, that's not a world champion there. You know, I'm sorry, the promo skills are not there. It's just, you know, I don't care how many times he goes, baby. It's just not doing it for me. And the pancakes on the branch, like, what were they thinking here, honestly? Like, that just looks so dumb and stupid and just like a childish thing. And then we had our little match with Gargano and Tabasco Chim, and they beat the bar. And I'm just like, you know, I just feel bad here for the bar. I mean, first of all, you see Sheamus, you see him with the workouts he does. The guy looks like $1 million, and, you know, same goes for Cesaro. Two guys, just, you know, they're a good tag team. You saw it like Sheamus, he was worthy of the main event. And, you know, it was their fault. They, you know, made him like a very, you know, the 1-800 fella bullshit. And, you know, they ruined his heel character. And, you know, they could go back to all that. But, you know, the thing is, I guess it's past that point. They're too far gone. They see Sheamus as just a tag team guy. And I like the bar as a tag team. I just hate that they keep wrestling the same fucking people over and over. Well, here's a new team. And I'm not too thrilled about seeing these two, like, indie guys, just like two small indie guys just beating this towering team like they're nothing. And, you know, this is like right after they laughed in their faces. I guess that's payback, but I'm just saying it's like they just looked like two goofballs that got owned backstage, like two nerds by two bullies. And they, you know, and Sheamus and Cesaro looked like winners backstage, and the two heroes, they looked like chumps. So, like, when they win the match, it makes Sheamus and Cesaro look bad, and it doesn't even make you know, Gargano and Tabasco sauce look. They don't look good. They just still look like two indie jobbers who are just out of place, that don't deserve to be there. And of course, people say, you know, I'm hearing backstage, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Wrestling. I mean, like, give it a rest. I mean, this audience, I mean, my God, I guess they were making up for, you know, that lackluster crowd on Raw. You know, no one wants to admit still here on the internet that show just wasn't good. That's why people weren't going for it. It had nothing to do with it being you know, a bad crowd and people not deserving it. Look, I'm not saying there's never been a bad crowd, but usually from what I've seen, how come when it was good during the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, we never had to complain about bad crowds or lousy crowds? Why was the crowd so vocal? Now it's like they have to struggle to get a reaction, and when they don't get one, oh, it was a bad crowd. Stop blaming the crowd and start blaming the show. I think you need to get your microscope out and take a look, because Johnny Gargano is not going to raise your little ratings. Even your beloved Becky Cringy Lynch, she is not raising the ratings. Old Stone Cold over there ain't raising the ratings. She's not even on tonight's show. They're still going with the, you know, this is the thing. It's like, okay, we'll finish up with Gargano. It's like you guys have a totally different outlook. It's like, what do you want? Do you want a wrestling show that you want to see, or do you want the ratings to be raised? Because I actually think it's the former. I think you just want to see a show that you want to see, and you're not really interested in the ratings being good and or you know, wrestling entering into another boom period. Boom period. That ain't gonna happen. Do you guys realize that it's been like 20 years since the last wrestling boom period? It's been about like 19 years. You really think that there's going to be another one anytime soon? I didn't think so. You know, we thought like maybe we might get one a few years ago, but nope, that's not happening anytime soon. Then up next, we had Mandy Rose defeating Asuka. And here's the thing. You know, okay, there's a few things here I want to say. So, you know, they built up Asuka like she's totally unbeatable. And, you know, I'm not saying that you can't have, like, the really pretty girls, you know, go over and stuff on the tough girls, you know, because we had that with Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus beat, you know, Jazz. She beat Victoria and all that. But, I mean, okay, but you built Asuka up, like, to be more of a threat than any of those girls. Like, she's unbeatable. She had the 3-year streak, you know, and, you know, just like you kind of just built Mandy Rose as kind of like the eye candy girl, like she's not really there. You know, it kind of would have been like, you know, we just weren't, you know, they haven't really positioned Mandy Rose really to be an effective wrestler yet. You know, that's why it's weird, like when they have her in the Elimination Chamber, and then they're kind of just making her more like the storyline girl. So I don't know, like, really what they want her to be. I guess it's okay for her to be both, but I just wasn't expecting her to beat Asuka here. And not only that, she has been off TV now for at least 3 weeks or so. And they have her actually get in the promo saying that, you know, Asuka, do you think that you've been overshadowed by everything that's going on with Cringy Lynch and Charlotte? And Ronda Rousey, you know, and she goes, I'm just here for more challenges or new challenge or whatever it was. And I'm just kind of sitting here saying, like, you know, you're actually admitting that you let your own women's champion get overshadowed because your booking is so horrible. I mean, trust me, you don't need to remind us of that. All we need to really see is what you're showing us with EC3. You know, the fact that you forgot to showcase them, or you purposely did. You had 3 hours on Monday night and you didn't show EC3. And since everyone else is allowed to show up on SmackDown, why can't EC3's an NXT guy? Just because he's not one of the 4, he can't show up on SmackDown to make up for it? I guess not. And then also, the 3rd time in a row, they have Lacey Evans come out. She walks down to the ring, And then she walks back. Okay, I guess it was to distract Asuka. But so far, this is not making any sense. She comes out, does the same thing when no one's out there. She comes out and she does that when Heavy Machinery is out there. Then she comes out there during a match. So, like, what is her purpose? Is she going to wrestle? Does she have anything to say? Or is she just going to come out there in, like, these old school, like, you know, post-World War II outfits and, you know, just strut around, basically? So, I don't know, like, what she's there for. What is the purpose of what she's doing? Could they even describe it? You know, she's just sashaying out there with no, like, purpose or intent. Okay, this is the first time that it seemed like in the last, you know, 3 nights that they were going to do something with her. But, like, why does she all of a sudden have a problem with Asuka? You know, I guess we could say we'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but she might show up on Raw doing the same thing. I don't even know, like, what are they doing? Like, honestly, like, how does this make sense? Sit one of these nincompoops down from the creative team. Okay, explain to me what this is. Well, you see, since we're not showcasing her, we're just gonna have her come out so you don't forget she's there. I mean, honestly, like, why? Like, what is the reason behind this? Why even have her come out there if there's no real particular purpose? Why was she brought on to the main roster? Then you had Charlotte cutting a promo backstage. I don't know. Wade Keller said it was good. I didn't really care. She said she'd have, you know, Cringy Lynch arrested if she shows up again. Ricochet defeats Eric Young because, you know, you haven't shown Eric Young in a few months, but hey, why not just, you know, bring him out of nowhere, bring him out of dormancy just so you could beat him? I mean, first of all, Eric Young has so much more value than Flippy Dippy Ricochet. I mean, honestly, what is it that is good about Ricochet besides he flips? I mean, honestly, it really is. I mean, besides him, you know, just performing like a circus act, what is the purpose? I mean, of, you know, you bring out Eric Young. You know, this guy's got the crazy gimmick and everything, and we all know about Eric Young. All those who have ever laid eyes on NXT, I mean on well, NXT too, but TNA and Impact Wrestling knows Eric Young, so they know what Eric Young can do. And many people already knew prior to him coming to NXT that he was something great. That's why the NXT fans were excited to see him, because they knew that Eric Young was good. But you know, I don't understand, if it's all about NXT guys and fresh faces and everything, why is Eric Young not given a chance? Especially when we already know that the quality of promos this guy could cut. We already see his facial expressions. You want to talk about work rate? There you go. It's like, I don't get it. Why do we even need to bring in Gargano and all these people when you've already brought up EC3 and you already had Eric Young? Killian Dane, like, look at the size of this guy. Look what he looks like. Why are they not doing anything with him? Are you telling me that Kofi Kingston and Mustafa Ali are getting pushed, and a guy the size of Killian Dane is not? Or if you want to put a smaller guy in there, how is Eric Young not being pushed as a main eventer when you know what this guy can do? Alright, anyway, and we saw how, you know, when they were really pressed for star power in TNA, when they made him the world champion, we saw that the guy worked very hard. He changed his character around, and he tried his best to entertain, and he succeeded for the most part. Guy knows how to work hard, and that should be all that matters to WWE. As long as the guy performs well, works hard, does what he has to do, and gets over. Well, you know, but you gotta put the guy in a position where he can get over. You know, you keep him off TV, it's gonna be impossible to do that. But Ricochet beats him. Then backstage, you know, it's all about Kofi Kingston and all this, and you know, we're all like super, you know, excited. Oh, go Kofi, go! Like, where did this random? No one even cared about Kofi Kingston until he was in the Elimination Chamber. So let me get this straight. You really wanted to see Kofi beat Daniel Bryan for the title and destroy Daniel Bryan especially what he's got going on with the current gimmick that he's been given. You really want to see that stripped away. That is probably the most entertaining thing that's going on now in this garbage company. And you want to take that away from Daniel Bryan. The fact that he gave himself a custom belt just for the gimmick alone. I mean, you want it just so you could see some boring moment. And the minute that Kofi wins the title, you're not going to even care about that title reign 2 days later. Like, if it happened at Elimination Chamber, you probably would have stopped caring. Oh, you know what we gotta do? We gotta put the belt on Gargano because he's Johnny Wrestling. It's exactly what you goofballs would have said. Or we would have to put it on the Tabasco sauce guy. You know, that's what you would have said. You guys, like, they need to stop listening to these goofballs. Do not put the belt on Kofi. I'm pretty sure that they won't. I don't think they're that stupid. But backstage, it's like, you know, everyone is like cutting promos backstage, and they're all like talking before Kofi. It's like, who is the main star here? They're still a tag team, so like they're not even focusing on Kofi as a singles guy. And let me ask you a question: why is Kofi being pushed as the main eventer and the challenger when you're looking at Big E, who's got triple the charisma, 10 times the fucking charisma, 10 times the look, 10 times the believability? But, you know, Kofi, because he's been there for 11 years. He's been there for 11 years. It doesn't matter if he deserves it or not. I mean, guys, let me ask you a question. How long was Funaki there for, huh? Right? Remember Funaki? How long was he there for? Do you think he should have been world champion because he was there for a good 11 years too before he got released? You remember he was Kung Funaki? Should that guy have won the world title? Since he was there for... I mean, let's just talk about how long someone's been there for. I was, you know, so sick and tired. It was the same thing like Mark Henry. Why'd he win the title? Because, oh, he was there for over a decade. So, you know, we need to give him the title because he's been for that. Who cares how long they've been there for? Roddy Piper was there for how long and he didn't win a world title? You see what I'm saying here? Like, there's a bunch of guys that never won the world title that were great. So, I don't want to hear that, oh, they've been there for a while. You know, no, I'm sorry, that shit does not fly with me. That argument, oh, they're a veteran, so they automatically... Look, what is everyone going to take a chance with the world title? You know, it's bad enough Finn Balor won the world title. You know, it's bad enough, you know, that they give the world title to just about everybody under the fucking sun. You know, and you want to give it to another goofball who's going to do absolutely nothing with it. I'm not saying I hate Kofi, but he is definitely not what I would consider a main eventer. And so then we go on and we have the main event. It's Kofi, AJ, and Jeff Hardy defeating Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, and Randy Orton. So they let, you know, Daniel Bryan didn't really have a moment to shine. I like, you know, his facial expressions during his promo, but the promo was only 2 minutes. They didn't even showcase it on YouTube. To be able, I was like, did Daniel Bryan even cut a promo during this show? And actually, I didn't even know it. I actually discovered that USA Network actually has a YouTube channel, and they posted the promo. So I got to see my Daniel Bryan promo. And, you know, it was a good promo, but, you know, it wasn't anywhere where it was up to par from the last couple of weeks. But, okay, whatever, you know. And I'm just seeing, like, everyone just thrown into this match. Jeff Hardy, it's like I feel like he's just basically non-existent here. You know, Jeff Hardy was in the Elimination Chamber, and at no point did we think that Jeff Hardy was going to win that match. Same thing with Orton. Remember back in the day when Orton was in the match? You know, you knew that title was in serious jeopardy of Orton capturing it. Now he has a match, and it's just like we all knew that Orton wasn't going to win. It's like, you know, when you put these guys in the match, you should, like, have that unpredictability where it's going to be like, oh, well, any of these guys could win it. You know, based off of that, the only thing that I could have thought is that maybe Kofi Kingston might have had a small chance of winning, that they, you know, that they might have, like, done something like put it on Kofi, but then have Bryan win it back, you know, like a few nights later, just to say that they gave it to Kofi. That was the only doubt I have in my mind, that they would have probably did something like that. Because that's the thing. Even if they do actually end up ever giving the title to Kofi Kingston, I think that they kind of just like goading the fans, you know, like just to keep interest, because this is probably the most interest they've ever had in the world title picture from like, you know, in quite a long time, even with Brock Lesnar, you know, because they just know that Brock is just going to beat most people. He probably won't win at Mania against Rollins, but you know, like I said, that was the most invested I've seen a crowd in the finish in a very long time. You know, it's just sad that it has to be Kofi Kingston to do it, but regardless of that, you know, six-man tag match is bland as fuck, and then you've got Kofi pinning Daniel Bryan in the end. So, you know, and now we're gonna have the match at Fastlane. It's back to the underdog story. Will Kofi do it? No, he won't. Okay, I'll just stop you right there. No, he won't. He won't be winning the title. That's not happening at Fastlane. Okay, guys? Alright. Well, anyway, there is your SmackDown review. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. This show right here, I mean, come on. I mean, guys, you know, I know that, like, the big popular rumors, oh, they're competing with AEW now. They're going to compete with a organization that hasn't even got off the ground yet. Everyone is worshiping, you know, the Khan guy. Oh, holy Khan. You know, you're so great with all your money. You know, like, all the money in the world can't buy you quality. I'm sorry. You know, like, when they're not going to hire writers or be invested in their creative, like, this is what AEW should have done. And I don't want to get into a whole rant. I'm just going to say something for a minute or two here and then end the video. But you basically, if they were smart, what AEW would have done is they would have focused on the creative aspect. Because WWE is doing the match, constant matches, you know, no one's getting over, but they're having a whole bunch of great matches, right? So they could have countered that, but like, guys, we're going to get back to characters, storylines, and getting people over. Now, they don't have to say it just like that. They could kayfabe it a little bit, but, you know, the thing is, the selling points that WWE doesn't have, because WWE's already doing the indie shit. They're steeped in it. This is a glorified indie show now, what they're doing on both Raw and SmackDown. So, you know, AEW's going to come along and they're going to do the same thing. It's just going to be worse. And, you know, they're going to have even less star power. Besides Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, who else do they have? You know, one of their bigger stars, Billy Gunn, is going to be working behind the scenes. You know, besides that, who else do you got? Oh, the Young Bucks. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. The ratings are going to be just massive with that, with the Young Bucks. Oh, my God. So, but anyway, they're not going to do that. So, guys, there you go. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Hit a thumbs up if you did, and hit a thumbs down if you hated it, and tell me why. You know, adjust your AEW shirt. You know, make sure, you know, make sure, you know, it's not itching, it's not chafing you, you know, okay? And, you know, you can make that angry comment down below. But if you really like what you saw here today, subscribe, click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. Check out some of the content I have posted here, and thank you for watching, guys. Until next time.